In this video, we're going to look at the stats for pickpocketing. In my previous video, I did not go through the log, and so we can see exactly how things affect the pickpocketing chance, and so you can get a much better idea. So that basically the pickpocketing stats are poorly represented in the pickpocketing screen. I'll start out by just talking about the basic build and basically the items that you really want to have by the start of Act 2, but you can get almost all of these in Act 1. So you want to have the Smuggler's Ring, and I have a video about the locations of these. I might put the locations at the end of this video, or I might put it, just link you to the other video that has those locations. But this is an Act 1 thing. The Shapeshifter's Boon Ring, which you get off the Strange Ox. The Silver Pendant, which is just north of the Nautiloid ship in Act 1, where you fall off of. The Gloves of Power, I think I said incorrectly that you obtain these when you're fighting the goblins, when you first find the Emerald Grove, and they'll be on one of the goblins, I think the goblin leader. And then the Graceful Cloth, which gives you +2 to dexterity, plus it casts Cat's Grace, which gives you advantage on all dexterity rolls, including sleight of hand. So we're trying to maximize sleight of hand. So if we go into this is a level 6 rogue here, an arcane trickster rogue class for Asterion. Looks like he's not wearing his boots. And then we got +14 sleight of hand. So with +14 sleight of hand, it's only going to show up as +11 because we're getting +1 from the gloves and then +2 from the Smuggler's Ring. And then it's also not going to tell us about the bonuses. So we're going to get a 1d4 from the Shapeshifter's Boon Ring, and then we're going to get a 1d4 from Guidance. And he's also wearing this pendant for Guidance, but he's probably going to cast Fog Cloud, and we're going to have the Cleric here cast Guidance. And if you have Bardic Inspiration, that's a 1d6, but it's only for one turn, so you want to give that on the turn where the thief is actually stealing. So we can steal everything in one turn, but we need to get to that turn. It takes a few turns to get ready. Alright, so he needs to disguise himself to get that 1d4 bonus. So now he looks like a half orc. And then that's a long rest spell. And then we're going to cast Guidance with Shadowheart onto Asterion. We want to enter turn-based mode. Asterion is going to cast Fog Cloud, so he's going to be able to be partially obscured. We're going to end our turn.
I'm ready.
End our turn. And the vendor is going to walk out, right? But they're going to walk to the edge of the fog cloud.
Trust no one.
Now, he's not going to be able to pickpocket this first turn. We're just going to walk kind of close to her. But he's still partially obscured, so even though we're in a busy place, you can see on the mini-map there's about lots of people. He's still partially obscured here.
To stand this close to her power.
You know, I think people have recommended hold person, maybe, or maybe a command type thing to move the person around. But, you know, the fog works, and it also obscures your activities. So I think it's pretty good, but if that's working for you. One thing that I did not find to work, so people said that you could like move stuff into the barter menu and then knock out the vendor. I think that's been patched since patch 3 or hotfix 7. that you cannot knock out the vendor or even kill the vendor. I think the vendor just kind of vaporized for me. So whereas I remember killing the vendor before patch 1, and so I think that's, I just don't think that's a strategy that they want you to do, and that still works. Okay, so here we are. Let's look at the arrow of arcane interference, right? You always need more arrows. So as I hover over it, it says I get +5 from dexterity, +6 from sleight of hand. So it's not counting the bonuses from the ring and the gloves, right? So one of the things I told you in the previous video is that if you got the gloves of thievery, you'd get advantage, but because we're wearing the graceful robe, we get cat's grace, we get advantage on our rolls, so that would be redundant. So we put on those +1 to sleight of hand gloves. All right, so it's not counting the +1 for the gloves and the +2 for the ring. So it says we have a roll target of 2, and let's look at that in the lab, or in the log. So it said that I needed to roll a 16 total, right? I've got 6 from proficiency. I rolled a 4 on 1d4 from the mark of the shifter. I rolled a 2 on guidance. I had a 5 dexterity modifier because we have 20 dexterity after wearing the robe. And then we have a 3 sleight of hand modifier. So just not taking into account the rolls, we had 14 for this minus 16, right? And that's where they came up with 2. But that's not including your 1d20 roll. That's not including your 2d40 roll. So basically with this +2, I was guaranteed to hit it, right? There was no way I could hit it. Some dispute about whether you can hit a critical fail if you get a 1. That's very hard to get with advantage. To get a double 1, that's a 1 in 400 chance. It's a 1 in 20 if you don't have advantage. But I don't think that it says that you can do that. So you can steal everything in the vendor's inventory in one turn, and you can shift your inventory. So it says here, roll target. If your dice roll plus modifier is equal to or higher than the target, you succeed the sleight of hand check. So that's in the roll target too. So it doesn't really say anything about kind of a critical fail, right? Okay, so here's a light crossbow +1. It says we have a -2 on that, so we'll steal it. We'll look at that. So that was a difficulty class of 12, right? Our total sleight of hand modifier was 14, so that's how they get -2, but we're really guaranteed to get a 17, right? If we roll a 1 on 1d20 advantage, if we roll a 1 on the 1d4 mark of the shifter, and if we rolled a 1 on guidance. We actually rolled a 42, which I think is the maximum possible roll, because we rolled a 4, 4, and 20, right? So we can hit 42. I think the highest number in terms of difficulty class is a 30. Now, she doesn't have much gold here. So here's the gold is 11, right? So we're guaranteed. So I think that the 11 is going to mean that I think that, so I think the number that they give you is your sleight of hand modifier, which is higher than what they say here, is minus whatever the roll target is. So I think that this is going to be a roll target of 25, right? So we subtract that from the sleight of hand modifier, and then we have 3 more points guaranteed. So 8, and we need to get those 8 extra points from rolling higher than a 1 on one of the 3 dice, which is a pretty high chance, especially with advantage on the 1d20 roll. But it's not risk-free. Okay, we succeeded in that. The difficulty class is 25, right? So 25 minus our 14 dexterity modifier is 11, right? And then we had the different rolls, right? And we ended up rolling a 35 because we rolled 13 more than the minimum on the 1d20 and 3 more than the minimum on the mark of the shifter and 2 more than the minimum on the guidance. So we were well over that. It wasn't kind of a close one there in this case, but we had some fairly good rolls. So I'm going to just save here. All right. Let's get the... Always need health potions. Okay, succeeded in that. That was a difficulty class of 12. I don't think we could have missed that, right? So because of our sleight of hand modifier, and that's what the -2 kind of tells you. -1, let's steal this, see what we rolled. We rolled a 6 on the 1d20. We couldn't have missed that because we had a sleight of hand modifier of 14. Okay, here's the invisibility potion. That was a -1, and we rolled well over the a 1 on everything. So, and then this is a -4, so I think it's difficulty class 10 for this antidote. There you go. And here's the potion of animal speaking. I think that's going to be a difficulty 10 because of our sleight of hand modifier. Here's the longbow. I guess we could get another longbow. Let's see, what would we like here? Okay, so let's look at these are the. This is one of the harder one. This leather +2 armor. It's a nice looking armor set. I have it on Gale. So it's got a 2. So it's got a target of 16, I think. Okay, so that was 16. Right, and we ended up, total bonuses was 35. Studded leather armor. Oh, look at this. But it's 13 set, but it's bludgeoning. Better with bludgeoning. Okay, so that's a roll of 5, so that would be 19, I think, target. Right, so yeah, we have a 19 target. And we didn't come close to that. So, I mean, like with a 19 target, we've got 14 automatic +3 automatic, so that's 17. So we just need to get, 2 points out of 3 rolls, 2 extra points from the rolls, than the minimum of 1. The hide armor, so this is probably a 20. There you go, that's a 20. We ended up rolling 27. Chain shirt. Let's see if I'm encumbered. Should be getting close to encumbered. What else? We'll do the splint armor. So this is a roll of 12, right? So that's an 18 armor set. Quite a good armor set. Let's see what Shadowheart is
always sharp.
wearing.
What's next?
Shadowheart has the adamantine split armor, so we made 2 sets of those. But see, when I went to the other person, then I got out of the screen. So that was kind of a mistake. So if I wanted to get everything, then stay in that screen and steal everything. So now, ending the turn, we could get found out. So typically you're going to want to end the turn and leave, but we're going to take a chance here.
Let's see what's to be said.
Quietly now. Let's have a rummage.
Take everything. And then the number they tell you, I think the number that they tell you is what your 1d20 roll was. So we got a 15, and it says, yes, our 1d20 was a 15. So you can get a roll that's less than your target and still get it. So we, totaling up everything, we got 35, right? This is 26. We needed a 12. We had 14 sleight of hand, right? And so we needed to get the other 12 from the dice, right? And we got that from the 1d20 advantage, but we also got another 6 points from Mark of Shifter and Guidance. Okay, Hunter's Dagger, also pretty good dagger, but that's going to be difficulty class 13. And we rolled an 18, which we didn't need anything, actually. Breastplate +1, quite a nice looking... That was a... Okay, so now we're encumbered. So what we want to do is we want to select, especially these armor items. We're going to just send to camp. Right? Now we're not encumbered anymore. Okay, and steel. See, we rolled a 6 here, but it didn't matter, right? Because it said we had a target of 8. So it was difficulty class of 22, so minus 14 plus... so that's going to give us an 8 to roll. That's where they get the target 8. We got 6 on our 1d20 advantage roll, +3 on guidance, +1 on the Mark of the Shifter, so we beat it by a couple points because we had those other rolls that they don't really take into account when they show you the summary screen. Okay, so we got the ring mail. You know, it's not really a very good armor set for the, I mean, in terms of armor class, but it does help you with saving throws and checks. So, you know, maybe, unfortunately, we can't wear it here for Asterion, so it won't help us with sleight of hand checks. Alright, so this is a target at 13.
Your attempt at pickpocketing has yielded nothing but a fight.
Okay, so for this you want to go back to your previous save. Right, so that was a 13. I should have seen what we rolled there. Okay, so I'm gonna leave this this Dungeons and Dragons stats link in the description. This is from Reddit user Potato Stealer, I guess is his name, and he shared his link. So this allows you to put the main die, so we have D20 here with advantage, and then it allows you to add extra dice. So we've got 2 D4s here, and so it gives you the probability of the success. And so we saw from the menu that it gave us a roll target, right? And that does include all our modifiers, and that's the cumulative amount that we need to roll on those 3 dice if we have those 3 bonuses, or if we only have 1d4 or 1d20 if we don't have the guidance and we don't have the shapeshifter spoon ring, then it would be just 1d20. So it just depends on your situation, what perks you have, right? And you can see that in the log menu. So if you get a roll target of 3, it's 100% success. 4, it's 99.98. If we get a roll target, say, of 10, we've got a 97% chance of success. It goes down to 90% if we have a roll target at 12, and it goes down to 87%. You have a roll target of 13. So it starts dropping relatively fast as we get a roll target in the higher range, but it's still more than that indicates. So you see a roll target of 16 and you think, okay, well, I only have a 25% chance of success, but that's not it. With these extra die, you've got a 75% chance of success, or 3 times more than you think. And then it's not until you get to a roll target of 20 where it's 50-50 odds, right? With advantage and 2 1d4 extra die. And so that's the... And so a roll target of 28, we've got a less than 1% chance of success. But we still have a not terrible... We're still... get to 50-50 around a roll target of 20. So you got better than even odds on these, and if you've got a roll target of 16, then you've got a 75% chance of success. Alright, subscribe to the Linus Wilson channel. We give you the secrets to crush Baldur's Gate 3.